only thing I would ask first off is that you please watch this video in its entirety, because that's really the only way you're going to get my entire point. If you don't think you're really going to watch this video, then it probably makes more sense to, exit out. So that being said, for a long time, I've wanted to make a couple of comments about Islamic terrorism. And I know this is not a new subject, but there's something in any video that I make, there's something hopefully in terms of a different perspective that I want to share with you. So when it comes to Islamic terrorism, and I'm going to call it that, by the way, because I think that's the proper and appropriate label for it, I think that we, not only in the US, but in the Western world in general, I think that we really have kind of misunderstood and miscategorized this for a long time. I think that we think that Islamic terrorism is this, ideological thing. And my whole point is, I don't think it's nearly as ideological as people think. I think that it is a lot more pragmatic and it's a lot more practical. And it pains me to say that, by the way. That's why I said, please watch this whole video so you get my point. It pains me to say that, but I do think that it's true. So for example, and I'm not saying I'm special, I'm not saying I'm the only one who witnessed this, but I remember 9/11 very well. Unfortunately, I also had to witness, people who leaped from the top floors knowing that they're going to die. I mean, it pretty much sucks when you have to make a decision. You went into work one day and you have to make a decision that, so what am I going to do now? Am I either going to jump to my death, or am I going to just stay here and get, burned to death? So that is just incredibly, I don't know how people, I know they had to face that, but I don't know how they faced that, to be honest with you. So, and, also people who were in one of those planes. There were loved ones who texted, their families, I'm going to die, I'm about to die, but I just want to tell you that I love you. So not to get all, emotional on you, but back to my point. So we in the US in particular, but also, other Western countries, we say things such as, oh, the terrorists will never win. They will only strengthen our resolve. I don't think that that may be correct. I understand political rhetoric is political rhetoric, but political rhetoric is actually not good for any of us. And some of you know that, especially in the past few years, one of my biggest, if not my biggest gripes, is that we are not independent critical thinkers. So go ask one of the family members of, that lost a loved one that day. Go ask them if if this only strengthens their resolve. I don't think it does, okay? I don't think it does. I don't think that terrorists just try to terrify us. I think that terrorists actually are trying to kill us, okay? Now, I'm not here to give you a lecture on terrorism. I'm probably not qualified. So I'm just making, I'm staying close to this one point. I think that, again, it's a lot more pragmatic. It's not as ideological as people may think. It's not as though the terrorists think that, if we go and we kill thousands of people, bomb a building, fly planes into buildings, whatever, that, the US is going to change their stance. I don't think they think that, by the way. I think they, for whatever reason, I feel as though they're like, well, we're going to at least cause mass casualty. So I have to just have a little bit of hope and think, I'm getting a little bit older now. So there's probably a lot of people in the US State Department who are actually at this point younger than I am, but I would hope that there are maybe some older people in the State Department that are still there and do truly know this and do truly know what the hell I'm talking about. The terrorists will never win. Well, maybe, unfortunately, as hard as it for me to say, maybe they did win, and they do win, unfortunately, when they cause these terrorist acts. Maybe terrorism isn't necessarily a means to an end, but in some cases, maybe it is the end, okay? So that is what the goal is after all. They're not trying to do anything ideological in particular. And really, I just needed to talk about this for a little bit. I just needed to make this point because I just don't think that we think this way. Some Americans, or maybe unfortunately many or most Americans, think that the US doesn't have propaganda. Oh, that's only for the Chinese or Russia. They throw propaganda at their citizens. You think the United States of America doesn't throw propaganda at us all the time? This whole, the terrorists will never win. We will always strengthen our resolve. This basically is our propaganda, okay? It really is. So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books. Your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.